current times, when an Army unit is deployed to the battlefield, they return and a session is held called Lessons Learned. So I asked myself, what would a lessons learned be like considering the Presidio 27? And what I settled on was a simple ABC mnemonic, which I think helps summarize the situation and what we have to learn. A sort of after-action report, to put it in military terminology. So, A might stand for audacity. The men who sat down confronted the brass, the command, directly. They had elected a leader, a chosen spokesman, Private Walter Pulowski, who addressed his set of grievances in simple, plain-spoken terms. First, an end to shotgun details, which had resulted in the killing of Private Richard Bunch. 2, psychological testing for the guards before they were assigned. And 3, fixing the unsanitary conditions inside the stockade. B could represent boneheadedness on the part of the command. I'm talking about General Larson and his staff judge advocate, Colonel Garnett. We wouldn't be standing here today if they had simply followed the advice of the pretrial investigator, Captain Richard Millard, who is here today, who had recommended that this matter be disposed of at the lowest possible level of court-martial, a special court-martial which had a maximum possible sentence of 6 months confinement. As the Army did, as the command did in Vietnam, a mistake at the inception led to big losses for the Army. C might stand for cohesiveness. Throughout this episode, the men displayed enormous solidarity and unity. And this was despite all the efforts that the prosecution could mount to drive a wedge between them. But cohesiveness does not materialize out of thin air. To the contrary, it comes with lots of different kinds of support. First was the excellent lawyering done by the JAG officers and the civilians, who were mostly quite inexperienced, like myself. I'd been out of law school all of 18 months at the time. Plus the efforts of clergy, some of whom have been mentioned already, and the many activists and demonstrators who made themselves heard in the streets. Some of you have perhaps seen the commemorative coin, which I hold in my hand, that was specially minted for this occasion. On one side is what has now become the familiar image, photographic image of Private Walter Pulowski reading his set of grievances around the corner. On the other side is the names of the 27 individuals who took such dramatic action that day. I am very proud to have represented Private Ricky Dodd, the late Ricky Dodd, and Private Keith Mather. I am also exceedingly gratified that we are able to salute publicly these true heroes of the Presidio Stockade.